Hey everyone, it's me, Mary. So today I'm coming to you guys with a little bit of a different video. And the reason I'm making this video is because it is Mental Health Awareness Month and we are nearing the end of May. So I didn't want to miss it. And in fact, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to post anything to do with mental health. Not because I'm trying to stigmatize it or not talk about it or not be honest about it. But I tend to keep YouTube extremely light, completely and purely for entertainment purposes, a place where I can escape with games and pop culture, movies, TV shows, things like that. And so I never, ever really thought that I would be making a video like this. However, I'm very, very honest about what I go through on a day-to-day basis on my Twitch and my Twitter. On Twitch, accidentally, I do remember a stream earlier this year where I had a complete breakdown and it was literally someone in chat just had asked me, "How are you?" And I literally just broke down. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have streamed. Nothing. I was just talking about it. Then it just reminded me. I don't have that VOD. I just have that clip that I just showed you because I deleted the VOD straight away well, not straight away. I think I went to sleep and then I deleted it as soon as I got up out of just pure embarrassment, because how could I possibly cry on stream? I felt like an attention seeker. I felt embarrassed. I felt just really weak. And I often tell people that signs of emotion and showing emotion in any kind of way and capacity is never weak. It's not a sign of weakness. I do want to quickly thank Awkward Ashley because her video actually came up on my YouTube recommended. And I checked it out, and I know she's a fellow reactor. And I saw it and it just really, it made me feel all kinds of ways. It first of all broke my heart. And second of all, it made me feel really proud of her. I know we've never talked and I know that we've never really met, but I felt proud of her because she was really brave and she was really courageous for getting on camera and talking about a topic that's really hard and stigmatized still in society, especially for men. Women are definitely more encouraged to talk about their problems. The suicide rate for women is substantially low when we compare it to men. That's another issue that I have always really wanted to just make clear, that it is okay to talk about your feelings and to be vulnerable no matter what sex you are. Unfortunately, it's still not the case in 2022, but that's another topic. So yeah, anyway, so she got on camera, she told her story, and she was really brave, and I really commend her for that. I think it's really important to acknowledge what we go through rather than hide it. Not that I was ever hiding it. As I said, I'm more honest about what I go through on my Twitter and my Twitch. I just on YouTube, I have always associated YouTube with negative comments, and it's one of the reasons why I very rarely will read my comments, because the YouTube comments for a very long time just really impacted my mental health. So I had to just stop. So anyway, more about my mental health journey. I have always struggled with mental health. As far as I can remember, I've always had anxiety. My mum reckons I was born an anxious baby. And I developed a lot of anxious tendencies as a child, coping mechanisms. And then I was diagnosed with depression and generalized anxiety disorder when I was 16. And since then, I've seen a handful, probably more than a handful of psychologists. I've seen 2 psychiatrists and I've seen 1 hypnotherapist. So it's been a really long journey, and I've definitely had darker times in that journey where I really just didn't see the other way. This year, I definitely felt that this year in particular. I went through a really, really dark time in my life. I don't really want to get into the specifics or the root cause of anything. That's why I have a therapist. And the last time I had an extremely dark moment like that, I was 16 years old. So I hadn't had that level of darkness for over 10 years. So the fact that I went through it this year, it was really scary for me. I had to go back on medication. By the way, I hate going on medication. I'm an extremely forgetful person. First of all, I don't like the fact that I have to rely on anything, and especially not for the rest of my life. And then I don't like the side effects that you go through. At the moment, I haven't seen my therapist for 2 months, and I haven't told my family this either, but I've actually just stopped taking my medication, which is why for the last week and a half, I've been a little bit off. So this week, for example, I'm dealing with these brain buzzes and a little bit of blurriness, I guess, and headaches and dizziness. It feels like vertigo when the brain buzzes happen. So yesterday I noticed it because I was driving, but most of the time I'm sitting down or I'm lying down, which is another problem. I've also developed insomnia this year. This year I was probably managing about 10 hours of being awake. That's as much as I could handle, and that's the reason why I had to go back on medication. I've decided to stop going on medication because I feel like I could potentially do this on my own. I tried to do this about a month ago where I just stopped my medication, not on purpose that time. It was actually an accident. And then those extremely dark and intrusive thoughts came back. And I just panicked and I went back on them the next day. This time around, that hasn't happened, which has been really, really good. But I am experiencing the normal withdrawal that you get from medication. So I think the biggest thing is that I've had a lot of really incredibly supportive people around me. There's probably just one family member who just doesn't believe in mental health at all. But other than that, I've had a really, really supportive family, so many supportive friends that I can call and talk to. And I also have my community over on Discord and Twitch that I talk to very regularly as well. So I never really feel like I'm alone. And I think the biggest thing for me in my mental health journey, it's always been art. Art has always played a really big part of my mental health journey, recovering from mental health issues. So when I was 19, I went through a really dark phase in my life as well. And I started to get into makeup artistry. And that's actually, I just was feeling so down and I needed something to keep my mind off things, and creativity was the biggest thing for me. So I got myself into community college. I guess you guys would know it as community college, or if you're from Australia, TAFE. And then I was also doing a degree at the same time because I wasn't allowed to drop out of uni for community college. So I had to do both at the same time. And I worked as well. So it was a really tough year, but it was really fun because I got to do a little bit of each thing, and my week was really different. All the days were really different for me. In saying that, like I didn't make a lot of friends in uni or TAFE because I was very much a recluse. I was very reserved. I did not trust anyone, and I just was not willing to open up. When we make friends, it's important to open up, and it's also important to let them know that they're needed, but also that you need them. And I think when I was younger, for sure, I never wanted to be vulnerable, and I never wanted to let my guard down for even a second. So it was really hard for me to make friends when I was in university or community college as well, TAFE. During the same period of my life, actually, I wasn't 19. I think I was like 20 years old or 21 years old. I must have been 21, to be honest. Yeah, I was 21 because it was 2013. I started posting videos on YouTube, makeup videos, which majority of those videos have been deleted on my main channel. And I didn't do it for, you know, clout. I did it because I was studying a Bachelor of Media at university, and I was focusing on film and editing and just creating videos and things like that. So I really wanted to strengthen my skills there, but also strengthen my makeup artistry skills. So YouTube was a perfect platform for me. And then some years later, in 2015, I posted my reaction to some Game of Thrones episodes as well. And that was really fun as well because I'm an empath, so I got to express myself with a network of people who are also extremely passionate about this show that I was just completely obsessed over. So art and expression and community has been a real cushion for me as I kind of go through the motions in my own personal life. It has been a form of escapism. I also discovered traveling in 2016 when I was 22. Before that, I wasn't allowed to go traveling. I had a very strict upbringing, and which is why I haven't watched a lot of things that you guys are like, how the fuck hasn't she watched this? How hasn't she watched that? How hasn't she, like, does she live under a rock? I just wasn't allowed. I had a really strict upbringing, and I only traveled at the age of 22, and I really got a love for traveling. I really just got so obsessed with traveling because I felt, again, that escapism. I got to go into nature, experience the world, different cultures, different people. It was a really, really beautiful thing for me. And then I was so determined to then move to Germany or the UK right before COVID hit. I did 3 months of solo traveling in Europe, and that was the first time that I had ever done something like that. And all of my Europe photos and stuff like that, they're over on my Instagram. I also did 2 traveling vlogs about my Europe trip, and that's over on my main channel as well. which you can find if you're interested. But now that I think about it, I have done some travel vlogs in general on my main channel. So like New York, Tasmania, just a bunch of places. I'm getting on a tangent, sorry. The point is, I really love travel and I really wanted to live somewhere other than Sydney. And then of course COVID happened. And again, I went through another really depressive period. I lost in May, I lost 4 jobs because when I came back from Europe, those 3 months, I decided that I didn't want to really work in a 9-to-5 job ever again. I wanted to work towards my dream of being able to work wherever I wanted in the world. I didn't have ideas about how I was going to do that at the time. But I picked up 5 different jobs so that I could figure it out. And then COVID hit and I lost them. And again, I went through a bit of a crisis. Had all this time in my day. And back then I didn't have gaming. I didn't have too many hobbies. I was living with my parents at the time, which is quite far from a lot of my friends. And yeah, just living with parents, family is tough in general. So it was a hard year. 2020 was a hard year. In June, though, of that year, I discovered YouTube again. And this time I had nothing to lose. So I thought to myself, I'm going to try and make this an actual job. And so I did. And I was really, really lucky because I now have so many people out there who are so supportive. They're a part of my community. They care about my well-being. I know some of you guys off by just your usernames. Like I recognize some of you guys and I really feel supported and I feel loved. In the good days. In the bad days, I can tell you that depression is like having someone tell you or having the world tell you that they love you, but you just don't feel any sort of love anywhere. It's void. It's completely void. You feel so dark and cold inside and you feel so hopeless. Like for me, getting up out of bed and even just going to the kitchen was just an extremely overwhelming task for me. And it's the repetition of just negative thoughts just zooming into your brain and being completely relentless that they tire you. They tire you so much to the point where you just want to take something and go to sleep. just to make those negative voices just shut up for a second because you don't really see any other option. That's what I was going through this year. I was in a really, really big rut. I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't feel like my work was good enough. I didn't feel like I was doing anything right in any aspect of my life. Getting slightly emotional about this. I don't know why, because this is stuff that I thought I kind of worked past. Give me a second. And I just felt like I was just too sensitive for this world. Like this world was just not made for someone like me. But the biggest thing is learning that, or at least acknowledging that I have been through this before and I've gotten through the other side, and the other side has been really beautiful. And just focusing on getting to that side and trying to be excited about definitely getting to that side. It's about accepting help. It's about leaning on your friends and family and actually telling them what kind of thoughts your brain is feeding you. Because I told my mom and I told my dad and I told my sister and I told my brother. And yes, having your family member tell you, and yes, having someone in your family tell you, and yes, having someone in your family tell you what kind of thoughts their brain is feeding them, is definitely not. You might think that, oh no, I can definitely not tell my family that because that is something that'll freak them out. They'll worry. It's not something they want to hear. They've got their own lives. They've got their own shit to deal with. Yes, that's true. Absolutely, they do. But think of it as it's your responsibility to tell people what kind of thoughts you're having in your head. Yeah, it might be, it's obviously going to worry people, but it's better that they know. Trust me, it's better that they know. It is much better that they know because then you can get help. And that's what I really want to get across in this video. 1, that you are not alone. 2, that you are not a burden. You're not a burden. You really aren't. I just want to get that point so... Sorry. I actually don't have any tissues, which is weird. I should have tissues. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. So you're not alone. You are not a burden. No matter what your brain tries to tell you, no matter what lies your brain tries to feed you, you are not a burden, and you're important. And without you even knowing, you have impacted the lives of so many people. You're watching this video and you think, no, that's not true. That can't be true about me. Let me tell you that you have impacted my life significantly. And that's amazing. Because of you, I feel like I have a community of people who care about me. So there's one person, if you think that, you know, it's not true about you, that it's definitely, that's not true, because you've impacted my life. I want to thank you for just existing because you're amazing. And I don't know if, I don't really know if I'm all over the place in this video as well. I probably am. I'm probably not being articulate. I'm probably not making the most sense or being as fluid in my sentences as I could be, because my thoughts are kind of going all over the place. But the biggest thing is that I wanted to make this video to just be a little bit honest about my journey during this month of mental health awareness, because I think it's really important. And I really just hope you know how treasured and important you are, and that there is a light on the other side, and you need to focus on that light because it is there. And feelings are fleeting. I know this is probably all very cliche stuff. I'm telling you feelings are fleeting because at one moment I'm sad, really sad, and then I'm really grateful, and then I'm really happy, and then I'm really scared, or I'm really shocked, and it's just feelings are constantly going through me. And I think a feeling becomes a mood when you hang on to it for longer than you need to. So I will often like try and process my sadness rather than bury it. So I will talk about my sadness so I can go through it. And then I will do activities that will get my mind off it. Like gaming. Gaming has been a huge part of my life over the last 2 years, and I could not be more grateful for discovering gaming because it has really positively impacted my mental health. Whenever I feel sad, I know that I can just jump on Elden Ring or Animal Crossing. Those are the 2 games I'm playing at the moment, and I realize that they are very different from each other. So don't laugh at me. Yes, I know that I can do that. For other people, there are things like the gym or yoga or meditating, or art, or, you know, whatever it is, find your thing. And I know when you have depression, it's hard to find your thing. Trust me, I know. I love what I do, for example, but I found it really hard to even do what I love when I was going through it. So I do also understand that. But when I was going through, as I said, I let people know exactly what I was thinking, exactly what was going through my head, and I had people check up on me because that's exactly what I needed. I really did need that, and I'm really grateful for those people. I'm grateful for my family, my friends, my therapist, whom I have had the same therapist. I've had the same therapist for the last 3 years. And I'm grateful for my community. I'm grateful for you guys. And that's it. I really just hope you guys are having an amazing month, year. And I love you guys, and I hope that this helps at least one person. And yeah, that's all. That was heavy, but I think it was probably a long time coming, since it's something that I've dealt with for what feels like my whole life. And I've never really spoken about it on YouTube. So there you go. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.